Okay, we're back and I'm all up in this camera. What's up, y'all? If you're new here, I'm Teish. I'm the writer behind Adopted Black Girl, which is a blog that talks about kinship adoption within a black household, my experience from the perspective of my experience, and sprinkles in some lifestyle content. Now, I do have motivational posts and wellness tips on my page too, because overall, my experience dealt a lot with, empathy, psychological changes, being well to myself, understanding. And so I like to share that. That's all of me. But welcome. I'm so excited. Stay well, stay well, stay well. You get one new blog post every week. I'm working to get 2, but for now, I can guarantee you get 1. And in those blog posts, you're either going to learn something or you're going to leave with a wellness tip that helps you feel good and not powerless. I'm for adoptees, especially black adoptees. I want to build more community among us. I want us to understand each other. I want us to be I want us to find each other, and to feel seen and to be validated. So with that said, this month is National Adoptee Adoption Awareness Month, and I just found out about this month at 27. I've been adopted most of my life. Found out about this month at 27. And so, maintenance is here. They're building my apartment. I'll be back to finish the video, promise. Okay, where was I? Okay, so I made a post this week for National Adoptee Awareness Month, and it was saying what things we shouldn't say this month, because apparently a lot of people don't know what to say and what not to say when it comes to adoption. And it's because the message around adoption is not consistent, nor is it true. When we see adoption on TV and we see this in movies, we think, oh, you're saving someone. This is beautiful. The person has a family to go into. Wow, this is joy. That's not the case. Adoption is for profit. Adoption is not for family preservation. And for me, when I first started learning about my adoptee experience, it was a revelation that I had to come into. I was like, oh damn, my thought process has been jaded. And not because I didn't want to know. I just didn't, I knew I was adopted, but it was different. I was still in my family, so the kinship piece had just different variables, right? And so learning what other adoptees have gone through, knowing histories are being erased, knowing how my friends who identify transracial adoptees had different experiences than my own, led me just to research more on my own about what's trauma, what's adoption trauma, and how are people living through it, and dealing with it in community and within self. So knowing that foster care is for reunification, meaning if a child goes into foster care, the agency, the company, the community should do everything to get that family together. But that's not the case, because you get more money with over 1 to 2 million people who are looking to adopt kids in the foster care system, and adoption consultations being as high as at least 10,000. I feel like that's on the low end. When you get that money, you get the money. You're not putting it back out to keep a family together. You're not giving family services like food assistance, substance abuse treatment, mental health analyses and treatment and service, therapeutic services. You're not giving that, right? You have people who adopt for reasons to fill a void. You have people who adopt to feel like they're saving someone, saving people from their own culture, erasing their culture. You have people who think it's just the right thing to do. And sometimes the adopted parents don't even know how to handle the adjustment period, know how to handle trust, know how to understand where we're going, where we've been, don't even know how to look at a child or a young adult and say they're their own person. Sometimes adopted parents want to adopt to say, I need you to be exactly how you would be if you came from me. It don't matter what you're coming in with. I need you to be that. And so this month, because of all the different mixed messages with adoption, here's some things that you should not say. Words have meanings. So I'm gonna read straight from it, yeah? I'm gonna read straight from it. So one, you should be grateful. Oh, why? Why? You always say, oh, you should be grateful. Why? I didn't choose it. Now, a 3-year-old choosing to be adopted, yeah, I didn't choose it. I should be grateful because I'm running from what? And normally what people say is, oh, you have a better life now. And a lot of adoptees say that, it's not so much a better life, it's a different life because I have nothing to compare it to. So you're telling me to be grateful for getting the basic needs that I need as a human being. You're telling me to be grateful for not living with my birth parents who could understand and help me with identity development. You're telling me to be grateful for what? And usually when someone says you should be grateful, when someone speaks about their adopted experience, it's because it's uncomfortable for them. It goes against their perception of what they thought adoption is. And so empathy is lost when they can't see, when they don't agree. So telling someone they should be grateful also dismisses everything that they've been through. So let's not do that. Okay. Now, another thing I said there was, at least you skip the system. The system is what? The system is for the people who make decisions. The foster care system, when you go in, there's different procedures and processes. But at the end of the day, as soon as you are separated from your birth families or your both birth parents, you don't skip anything because it starts to impact you at the very moment that you're separated. It starts to impact you at the very moment you're in touch with Child Protective Services. The impact happens when your household is scrambled, when your household doesn't have the support, when your parents can't really focus on you. The impact happens because of the current system that's in place, because of the processes and procedures that people make decisions to have it this way. So what do you mean I skipped the system? What do you mean? We gotta talk about that, right? And you can read the thread, I'll post it below. But the other two is that oh, did you really suffer? Your adopted parents are saints. Do you know someone's suffering in detail? Or do you think you know? If someone says, hey, I suffered because of this, some suffering can be seen and some suffering can't. For instance, I'm a kinship Black adoptee, and so for me, a lot of my suffering, a lot of my challenges were emotional, yeah? They were emotional. And so I had to work through how to take those emotions, put them on paper, understand where they stem from, so I could feel whole, so I could feel complete. That's not always the case. Some suffering you see as bruises, some suffering you don't see like abandonment. So what do you mean at least you didn't suffer? I think what? Now, from my experience, my birth parents are both substance abuse survivors, and they really didn't have access to that treatment plan that they could have. I do feel like the community failed them. I do feel like some of my own family members tried their best, but when a person can't see and someone that's not consistently there, it's hard to see through the other side without consistency. So I did suffer because part of me is how did I get here? And was I more of a reminder to them of what they couldn't do? I don't know. So also your adopted parents are saints. Do you know them? Are you in our house? Do you understand? Every adopted parent doesn't have great intentions. In fact, the reason why some adopted parents want to adopt is to fill a void, like I said earlier. What? Young children, teenage children, adolescents, young adults are not there to fill a void. Yet people adopt because it's hey, come on, you're gonna make me feel better. You're gonna make me feel complete. An adoptee isn't a puzzle piece that you in and it's fine, right? And so when you say your adopted parents are saints without really knowing someone's story, sometimes if you're an adoptee, you may not want to open up, and that's why you have to be mindful of what's being said. Overall, this month I want us to, sorry, I don't have a chair yet. Overall, this month I want us to focus. I want us to do research. I want us to talk about why do you have this perceived notion of adoption? What do you want it to be in your head, what it actually is, and how you can support the adoptees that are around you, especially if you want to participate in an adoptee system. Too many adopted parents are their adoptees' biggest enemy. too many adoptive parents don't even talk about the adjustment phase or talk about wellness and mental health. And as adoptees, what I do want us to be aware of is that we're so kind, we're so important, our stories matter, and we deserve community and spaces that get us, that see us, and we deserve change. And I feel like change in a way where, for me, when I say change, is to have more community support, is to keep families together, is to understand why families are taken apart, to see why the foster care system is the way it is in different states, and what does it have to take to dismantle it, to build it back up. And if that doesn't happen in our lifetime, how can we start that process? I'm learning so much. But this month, you don't need to be adopted parents or anyone who does not identify as an adoptee and wants to learn more about adoption. You don't have to be a devil's advocate. And you shouldn't be a devil's advocate. Like, you should not be. Adoption is different, has a different lens across fields. You know, there's transracial adoption, domestic adoption, kingship adoption, and then we get into culture. That also is a difference. So stuff is layered. I didn't know so much. I didn't know how deep my experience went until I saw other adoptees and until I was introduced to adoption, what is going on, and I got involved in the community. So if you're thinking, as an other adoptee, if you're thinking like, man, I don't know, I love my adopted parents, I love my adoption experience, this isn't to say that your experience isn't valid, but it is to say that there is some impact there that you may not have seen yet. And when you're ready, the community is ready. But it doesn't make you a bad person either. There's always going to be this battle about adoption because everyone feels like they're entitled and everyone feels like they have the right to get what they want. But we're talking people. We're not talking processes. So those are my thoughts for today. Let me know if you want more videos. Please let me know. Go follow Adopted Black Girl on TikTok and Instagram and share my website, adoptedblackgirl.com. I'm Teish. Thank you for listening. If you got this far, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Okay? Bye.